So the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill has become law, a draconian, authoritarian crackdown on our rights to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the threat of imprisonment because this government is no longer conservative but fascist in its approach and has done so with a smirk on its face. Organised protest, no matter how peaceful, is now treated in exactly the same way you would expect violent clashes in the street to be dealt with arrests, confiscations and charges brought. The threat of up to 10 years imprisonment facing organisers, and with a Summer of Discontent brewing from amongst the trade union movement, will they end up clashing with this legislation and therefore the police? This isn't going to promote peace. This is going to pit the police against protesters where there's no need. This will increase clashes, not reduce them. And it's not just trade unionists or protesters. It effectively renders the Gypsy, Roma and Traveller community completely illegal, an absolute abuse of their human rights, as well as ours when it comes to freedom of expression. People have compared what is happening here to North Korea and how un-British it is. But unfortunately, the British way seems to always be to shrug our shoulders, tut, and carry on letting them do it whilst voting them in again. Life in the UK has only got tougher over the last 12 years of Tory rule. How much tougher must it actually get for you? Well, thanks to the Tories picking a really stupid first target, eyes are being opened. Have they gone after the hard right, the Britain First types, the Tommy Robinson wannabes? No, they went after the bloke who annoys them outside of their door, Steve Bray, the guy who's always making a racket out on Parliament Green, Mr. Stop Brexit, bedecked in his EU flag and his hat, popping up behind MPs, getting interviewed with a banner, stopping them on the street, often getting a string of abuse himself. Now, whether you like the guy or not, whether you agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. He absolutely has a right to express himself, as he does, peacefully, if somewhat noisily, and has done so for nigh on 6 years now. Sure, he's annoyed me a time or two over that time, but I'd still defend his right to carry on doing what he's doing because we're supposed to be a free country, yes? Well, the police went and confiscated his amps. One crowdfunder later, he's got new ones coming. 4, I've heard, to replace the 2 that were taken. Now, that's a proper British response. 2 fingers to the establishment, and he's up and running again. MPs? Moaning he's harassing them again. Well, boo-hoo! Grow up and get over it. The more you try to clamp down on people like Steve Bray, the more people will come out in support, the more people you will have making a noise. This pathetic piece of legislation will fail if we stand against it and those who introduced and support it. It wouldn't hurt any of us to now and again be a little bit more like Bray.